We live in one of the most diverse cities in Canada. From Regent Park to High Park, Torontonians get a small taste of what the many cultures of the world has to offer.
I've been a Parkdalian most of my life, and I find that the people in Parkdale are pretty friendly.
Parkdale is a very friendly community, lots of different cultures and different nationalities. Different community groups are here.
Oh, it's a very multicultural.
We are a non-profit organization. We serve newcomers who came to Canada less than 5 years old. We have a link program here where we help newcomers with their language training. We have settlement workers here, help them to find their house, enroll kids in daycare and school, and help them find a job.
In fact, a lot of new immigrants for many years started off here in Parkdale and then spread out through Canada.
Most of the residents here are pretty new, because of the rent here is quite low compared to other places. So many of the newcomers came here.
When I lived in this neighborhood, my partner and I, she didn't have any particular worries about walking around here at night either.
I consider it's quite safe. I lived here since I came to Canada.
Parkdale has a bad rap. I think it's because you get a few bad apples, and it gets in the news, and then it gets blown out of proportion. Again, it's like Regent Park, right? People think that, oh, Regent Park, oh, it's a bad area. It's not a bad area. You know, that Regent Park is very old as well. It's one of the first areas that were like Parkdale. It made up Toronto.
Parkdale is woefully underserviced for public infrastructure of most kinds. There's very little parkland in the neighborhoods. There's a couple of community centers, and not surprisingly, they're incredibly heavily used. And public transit is abysmal for the density of the area.
Parkdale has a lot to offer. There's a lot of artists that live in the area. There's a lot of craftspeople that live in the area. Again, it's very multicultural, which is great. It's a melting pot.
When you lift up your head, sometimes you see China, you see black, you see Hindu, all kind of people. I find that very nice.
It's like you're at Jamaican King Party over there. You can find some Trinidadian food and Jamaican food. You have some old Eastern European. So I think that's unique to this area, you know, a cluster of different ethnicities and different backgrounds.
They look like Africa, you know.
We come from Rotterdam. There are many cultures there, so they all dress and talk and keep shop in the Dutch model. And what strikes me is that everyone builds the store like he would in his own culture. And that makes the city that more interesting, because we have all Dutch shops with different people in them. So you have different people, different shops, different produce, and it's very, very exciting.
My background personally, it's Polish, and there's a lot of things that I can find here that I, know from back home. And I know my other friends, like Koreans, for example, or even people from Jamaica come down here because for the same reason, they can find things that they know from back home. So yes, it's definitely multicultural.
I think that there's a chance that it's going to become increasingly gentrified and developed. At least I've heard threats of Kensington kind of changing in that kind of department. I hope it doesn't though. I
don't come here late at night. I come here during the day, and I feel safe. There's a lot of people here. I'm not being harassed or picked on. So yes, I feel safe.
I find the people very, very friendly, you know.
I walked the streets on my own at 11. I didn't feel unsafe.
I feel safe everywhere I go.
Activities, I come here for food mostly. Yeah, not really for any activities in particular. No, just shopping mostly.
I've been for a concert over there.
I like the atmosphere here. I like the shops. I like a lot of vegetarian, different little restaurants, little stops.
I think that it's full of many different unique aspects, which makes it a pretty interesting mosaic on the whole. Yeah.
I live here and I work here, and I really like the neighborhood because the people are so friendly. All kinds of people. It's good for us. It makes it more interesting. In this office, we're looking at the business people. You know, a lot of the restaurants have musicians. We try to promote that. A lot of the businesses are also trying to fix up their buildings and their restaurants. We have the Cabbagetown Festival every year. We're planning for that right now. We close Parliament Street for 2 days. There are restaurants and pubs out on the street, and we get singers and musicians. And, each of the stores has a little display, and they usually have a sale or something like that. Then over at Riverdale Park, they have a bunch of art, about 150, 200 artists set up little tents. And in the area in between, each house has a garage sale, so people come from all over the city just to have a good time here. Usually when there's problems with crime, it's some fairly small thing involving property. Somebody will break into a car, or maybe steal a bike, or break into a house. But there isn't a lot of violence towards people. It's really irritating when the property crimes happen, but it'd be far worse if there were a lot of murders or stabbings or assaults or whatever. You can hop on the streetcar here about every 5 minutes. I was just down at City Hall and I took the streetcar back, and it's very easy to get around that way. We're close to the subway, so you can either go up to Bloor Street or over to Yonge and hop on. I think it's great. I don't have a car, and in part that's because it's so easy to use public transit. I think that everybody should come to Cabbagetown and have a good time.
If I could say one other thing about this neighborhood, I can tell you straight, it's one of the best neighborhoods I've ever been in my life.
Bohemian vibe here.
I feel it's a peaceful neighborhood, man, straight up.
Very artsy.
Yeah, it's a nice community. They got parks up the street.
Very colorful.
Skating rinks, a school.
You got U of T over there, and you have University of Toronto.
I don't think they have a specific name. It's Bloor West Village.
It's the Annex. It's called the Annex.
True Annex is bordered by Bloor, Spadina, St. George, and DuPont. That's the true Annex. Then, of course, this is West Annex, and so on and so forth. This has gone through a number of changes over the years since the 1950s and 60s. It was very Eastern European in background at one point. You had a lot of Hungarian restaurants. maybe 5 or 6 within this corridor between Spadina and Bathurst.
We got parks up the street, skating rinks, a school.
It's undergone a lot of different changes. Different stores have opened, more sushi places now, lots of coffee houses and whatnot.
The people are very friendly, and actually there's a lot of nice little restaurants and stores, so it's a nice area in Toronto, you know?
Yeah, they help me out with money and they say, hi, how you doing? Have a nice day. I say, please can I have something? Thank you. They help me out with.
There's only three ways of how I can describe the people who live here in the Annex, and that's pretty much musicians, hippies, and stoners, straight up.
This is a very diverse collection of people here. People from all walks of life, from street people to some rich people, but I wouldn't say it is exclusively rich or you know, like that.
A couple blocks from here, there are like houses that cost like almost $1 million.
It is a little more expensive because you have the Annex just off to the right here, and you know, they're a lot nicer Victorian homes, but you know, you spend your money and you get a little better for it.
The food is pretty reasonable around here, right? And it's usually frequented by university students.
It's multicultural, straight up, man. Like, straight up, like the lineup pretty much goes. Like, you'll see like a Paki followed by a freaking Arabic, followed by a freaking Jamaican, followed by a freaking white man, followed by an Asian, followed by any culture. Like, this is like one of the most multicultural neighborhoods, not around this subject, that I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, it is a mixture, but there's more of a white congestion up here, it seems. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's so much more expensive. But I did notice that the Annex is more of a white kind of area. But with this area here, it's very multicultural, which I do like.
Like, they're trying to say, oh, Scarborough's so multicultural. They're trying to say that downtown is multicultural. Nah, man, it's all about the mid. Because here, it's like all of the cultures and just like everybody just brought them together. Like,
what I'm kind of concerned about is the spread of this high-rise condominium kind of development, which is making its way west, they're trying to. My impression is that they're trying to get rid of this kind of living, and they're trying to make it what you implied before was this exclusive, rich, snotty kind of thing. Now, as to how far west they're going to go, who knows?
You got Central Tech over there. You got U of T over there, and you have University of Toronto private schools there. So it's a mixture of people, very colorful.
It's very grassroots and really great restaurants and very cheap, and so you get, you know, anywhere you get college students, it's going to be cheap. So
people are like, oh, Hyde Park, such a peaceful, rich neighborhood. Oh, Scarborough, such a peaceful neighborhood. I lived in Scarborough for 15 years, and I've been here for 3. I'm 18, I'm turning 19 soon. The Annex, I can tell you right now, is way calmer than Scarborough. Like, Scarborough, you got stabbings and shootings on a daily basis. When's the last time you heard about a stabbing in the Bloor and Bathurst, or the Spadina and Bathurst, or even the St. George and Bathurst neighborhood? When's the last time you ever heard about something like that up here? Never.
I try not to dwell on the negative parts of the town, you know?
mentioned just one.
Sometimes it gets a little overcrowded by young people screaming, holler, and pushing around because there's, like, you know, of course they're in the party mood. But besides that, it's actually a very nice place to live in.
You got, like, everything here, man. Like, you got alcoholics here with the freaking Lee's Palace and, like, 20 different bars within a matter of, like, 2 subway stations. Like, within a matter of Bathurst to Spadina, you got, like, 20 different bars. It's like, you got, like, so many different types of people here. It's insane. You can't get no better than the Annex. If somebody was to move from one place to another, I tell them straight up, if they were moving out of Scarborough, if they were moving out of Hyde Park, Parkdale, Regent Park, man, I just realized how many neighborhoods in this place have park in it. Have you realized that before? Yeah. But straight up, like, if I could tell anybody to move from one neighborhood to the next, I'd tell them straight up, move to the Annex.
was brought to you by the Regent Park Focused Media Arts Youth Center.